The magnificent Gateway Arch marks the gateway to the west, and the city is just minutes away from Gateway Motorsports Park, where the Menards Chevy Show has set up shop for the next stop on its coast-to-coast tour. Welcome, everybody, to the Menards Chevy Show. This time coming to you from our annual stop in the greater St. Louis metropolitan area. But we're not in Missouri. We're 2 miles across the river from the infamous Gateway Arch in St. Louis in the town of Madison, Illinois. Every year we stop here at this fantastic motorsports facility and see just an amazing array of hot cars from all over the Midwest. And I promise you, you'll see some amazing stuff here today as well. Let's take a look at our first award winner. One of the most popular models at the Menards Chevy Show is the Chevelle, and Jim Gallwitzer's 1972 model is the winner of the Rock Auto Restored Award here at Gateway. There are so many incredible aspects of this Malibu that it's hard to even know where to begin. I see an aftermarket grille, but other than that, is there anything that's not a factory piece on this car?
Yeah, absolutely. Suspension. So had to lay this thing down on the ground because that stance is everything on a car. So all Hotchkiss suspension.
How long have you had the Second Love? I mean, is this an original high school ride or what is it?
Close. The original high school ride's at home. This one I picked up in 91. Guy had stored it from 74 to 91. I picked it up with 8,000 original miles on it. So when you start with a nice clean car, it's easy, much easier to do a nice ride that way.
That explains the vinyl roof, the interior, the trunk and everything. Let's talk about the paint, because whoever did it is a master.
That is a very old lacquer paint.
Really?
Still in gorgeous shape, and lacquer gives that look to keep it kind of old school.
Are you to tell me, you said it was an old lacquer paint job, but is it the original paint?
It's the original paint, GM paint.
Interior, vinyl roof, trunk, is this a complete restoration, or are we using original stuff?
I cheated with the interior. This is a factory interior, all original interior. A drive chain, just a mild small block. I wanted a driver. I wanted something I can get in, drive, and not have to worry about. It's just a warmed over small block.
Tell me about the license plate. Your second what?
My second love. First love's at home. This is second.
On the drivetrain, as far as its feasibility to drive, but you're the one that has to drive it. How is it?
Awesome, because I've got ice cold air conditioning, killer stereo system, and nice tight weather stripping, so it's a joy to drive.
Favorite part of the car?
That I own it.
Congratulations to Jim Gallwitzer and his 1972 Chevelle for taking home the Rock Auto Restored Award here today. And visitor here in St. Louis is Tom Taylor from rockauto.com.
Well, we sell most of our parts to people for their daily drivers, the cars they take to and from work every day. But a lot of our customers also have old cars, fun cars, 50-year-old cars. And we have parts for those cars too, and our selection is actually growing for those cars. And so we want to be involved in all aspects, the daily drivers and the fun cars for the weekend. A car like this Chevelle, from the bumper in the front to the bumper in the back, we have the sheet metal, we have interior trim parts like armrests and things that would have been a real hassle to find 30 years ago, but we have them now just a click away. And it's just like our parts for your daily driver. The prices are reliably low. We don't have that classic car markup that can be really frustrating if you're trying to fix up a fun old car.
Now for something completely different. The Duracell Crank It with the Copper Top Award winner here in St. Louis is a wild Corvair Monza conversion owned by Paul Beck. A lot of people don't realize the absolute rarity of the Corvairs in any of their body styles. Where did you find the body?
I actually got the car on a trade-in. I had redone a Ford pickup truck, and a fellow needed a truck, and he had the Corvair and wanted to trade. I'd never seen one with a V8, so I thought it was an interesting, just something to try, and so made the trade and started working on it then. That was in 2007.
I have to ask that in the deal, how much of the first ride was the selling point?
Well, that was the issue. It wouldn't drive.
Oh dear, so you bought it not knowing what one of these little rockets is like?
Yep.
But now you know what one of these little rockets is like.
Yes, absolutely.
It doesn't take much horsepower to make these things a mid-12-second street car.
No, not at all. 400 horse will get you down the track pretty quick.
Yeah. It's a beautiful conversion, but more importantly, who did the paint?
I had a local body shop do the paint. I did the body work, and then I took it to a local shop in Pittsfield, Illinois, to do the final paint for it. I did everything mechanical, did everything but the upholstery and the final paint. So
Wow. Who did the upholstery?
I had a little lady at a private shop.
A little lady in a private shop.
Little old lady.
That's incredible. You didn't modify the body that much, did you?
No. It's actually the original wheel well, just the flares are added, and it gives you a little bit more room for tire, but not significant.
And we have to ask, what is the motor?
It's a 5.3 LS out of a 2011 Suburban.
Wow. All EFI?
No, it's carbureted.
Still carbureted.
Still carbureted. It goes down the road nicely at 70, not strained at all.
That certainly is an outrageous Corvair, and it definitely deserves the Duracell Crank It with the Copper Top Award here at Gateway. Stay with us, because when we come back to the Menards Chevy Show from Gateway Motorsports Park, we'll uncover a cool, customized 1948 coupe. We'll be right back.
The Menards Chevy Show is being brought to you by Z-Max, the one product for your engine, transmission, and fuel system. Evapo-Rust, super safe rust remover. Steel Rubber Products, quality crafted rubber parts and weather stripping. And by Dustless Blasting, it's the future of surface preparation.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Menards Chevy Show, coming to you from Gateway Motorsports Park in Madison, Illinois. Take a look at this absolutely amazing 1967 Pontiac GTO. Not good enough? How about this mind-boggling 1956 Chevy sedan delivery? Still no good? How about what many people consider to be the most beautiful Chevy Camaro on the car show tour today? The one and only Tony Goodrich, who brought 3 cars to this show, every one of them a potential show winner. Everybody's losing their mind over the Camaro. The other 2 are just as gorgeous. Which one do you consider your favorite?
The Camaro.
Everybody is stunned at the paint. Who did it?
Myself.
Really?
Yes, sir.
It's one of those paint jobs that gives the car more angles than it really has.
Yes, sir.
The interior is another aspect of this car that has its own look. This is something that you obviously worked hard to make sure it was a one-of-a-kind deal.
And that's the owner. He and Legacy Unlimited, they came up with the idea, and they did an awesome job.
The engine is certainly something that has been turning heads, but it's the way it was put together that makes it, again, something to behold.
Exactly. With him being from the nuke industry, we used all swage lock fittings for the fuel and tranny lines, and then I love to hide wires, spend the extra time to make it look like how does the engine run. That just gives it its own unique appeal, and it's a handmade hood with custom 4-stack grills that we actually this winter made them functional, and that's the only ones we've seen.
What's your favorite little part of this car?
The shifter, because he removed the Hearst and had Glow etched in on it. His last name is Glow, so it just has a little personal touch to it.
Our next award is the Moonshine Sweet Tea Sweet Ride Award, and here in St. Louis it goes to Ed DiBiase in his 1948 coupe that is a study in old school customizing techniques. Only somebody of a specific age is going to look at this car and realize the unbelievable laundry list of things that have been done to this car.
The hood's been chopped, 3 1/4 inches in the front. I started from nothing in the back and dropped it 3 1/4 in the front. The front part of the grill that goes around above the stainless that you see, that's all exhaust pipe split. And then the bottom part is just a rolled piece of sheet metal on just a regular roller, and then I chopped it up and put it and welded it together. It took a long time. I talked to a guy in California that owned a body shop. And I said, have you ever chopped one of these? Do you have a paper pattern on where to cut it? And he says, no, but if you send me 5 8x10 pictures at lunch, we'll take and we'll draw on there where you should cut it. And he says, and go from there. So just about every part of the car has been cut on.
Interior appears to be pretty much mostly late model stuff.
It is, and I can't remember what year the seats are, but they were 2 different sets of seats, and the upholstery guy that did it, he foamed out the back seat to match as much as he could as the front seat. All the woodwork I did, because I've been a carpenter for 56 years, so that was the easiest part of this whole thing.
I got a feeling that this was the culmination of a whole bunch of ideas over most of your life. Are you happy with it?
Oh yeah, yeah, and it'll be my last one. I'm too old for any more of this.
Congratulations to Ed DiBiase and his 1948 coupe on winning the Moonshine Sweet Tea Sweet Ride Award here at Gateway Motorsports Park. There's still more of the Menards Chevy show to come, including a Cheyenne pickup that looks factory fresh. We'll be back to St. Louis in a moment. Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Menards Chevy Show. This time coming to you from Gateway Motorsports Park. Let's face it, when you go to a car show, the first thing that attracts your attention is the outward appearance of a vehicle. This is Andrew Elkin's incredible 1999 Chevy S10. Every body panel on this vehicle is stock, but the paint job is absolutely astonishing. So many ideas, trends, colors, and techniques are used in this thing that it's already a show winner. Let's see another one of our award winners. The LMC Truck Life Award singles out some terrific vehicles, and here today at Gateway, the honors go to DJ Seigan and his 1970 C10 Cheyenne pickup. I gotta say, most people that look at this, other than the cool matte finish wheels, might think this is pretty much a bone stock C10 Cheyenne. Then the hood comes up. What's in it?
That's 555 cubic inch big block. It was dyno, a little bit over 700 horse.
Is it just a crate 502 or 454, or what is it?
I bought it from Skip White Performance down by Bristol, Tennessee. It was basically a barn find almost, or a restoration project that I wanted to do.
How long?
4 months, actually, real quick. Yep, my brother owns a muscle car shop, Extreme Muscle Cars, and while they were doing the body work and the paint work, I had the frame and everything at home. Getting everything put on it and rebuilding the rear end and wiring and all that, and then they put the cab on it, and I brought it back home and done all the wiring, and as I needed parts, I had to get it done. They worked on it like that.
Was it an original orange and white truck?
No, I think it was blue. And technically it was a long bed truck when we started.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, we cut the frame and made a short bed truck out of it.
Fantastic job on that. Who did the interior?
It's actually all LMC bought stuff, actually. Yep. It's all just a factory. You can buy it all right out of the catalog.
I noticed that you kept every single piece of original chrome trim on this thing. Like I said, most people from just a quick glance would say, oh, it's a bone stock C10.
Yeah, like I said, I wanted it, and that's what I went for whenever I built it, was I wanted it to look like a factory C10 truck, just with the Pro Touring type stance and a bigger engine and stuff like that. I wanted it whenever I came to shows, I wanted it to sound like it was mean.
DJ Seigan has to be proud to have his C10 pickup declared the winner of the LMC Truck Life Award here today. And right next door to DJ's truck is a 1956 210 that's owned by his brother Brett. It's our next producer's pick. When you look at this 1956 Chevrolet, there's a theme going on, but most people just can't quite place it.
Well, it's a little bit of NASCAR inspiration. Where the park lights were is brake ducts. The hood hinges like a NASCAR does. We took away the hinges and the supports that hold it up are NASCAR. The exhaust, shifter, steering wheel, suspension, a lot of different things.
What is the power plant?
It's a crate motor. It's a LS3, 525 horse, the ASA cam engine. Well, the interior is more like the exterior and the trim and the chassis and stuff with the gray. It's got some orange accents, and then the 5-point harness and stuff in there like a NASCAR would have in it. I looked and looked and looked and tried to find something different than everybody else's. I actually used a camera that produces paint codes, and I did it on a cardboard box is the color that I got for that.
That's amazing. Up next is the Gunk Tough and Trusted Award. Here at Gateway Motorsports Park, it goes to Ray Marsh and his 1969 Camaro. The this thing could have won any one of the awards that we have in this show. For restoration, for stock appearance, for anything. Where does the story start on this beautiful Camaro?
Well, we bought it a couple years ago and did a complete frame-off restoration on the car, and it took us about a year and a half to do.
Wow, how bad was it?
It was in good condition. It got original quarters and floors on it. I did put a trunk pan in the car, and it's got all NOS sheet metal on the front end.
The absolute magnificence of the body tells me that there had to be an awful lot of straightening done on this car somewhere.
No, it was nice and straight.
No kidding?
Yes.
Interior, absolutely bone stock, but beautifully done aftermarket, obviously.
Correct, yes.
What kind of interior stuff did you use to replace the other?
It was L-notch was the door panels, and then also the legendary on the seat covers.
Oh, good. Motor.
The stock original 350 that's got a mild cam in it.
Numbers matching motor?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But it's still a single four-barrel car, probably.
Yeah, correct.
The Rally Sports are obviously desirable, but how much of the Rally Sport trim was missing?
It was pretty much all there.
Really?
I just bought all new vacuum actuators and everything for that.
And let's talk about the paint. Who in the world did it?
A friend of mine out of Cherry Pickles Race Cars.
No kidding.
Yes.
It's magnificent. I don't know how many coats of clear are on it, but there's not a ripple that shouldn't be there. It could easily be mistaken for a trailer queen. How much do you actually drive it?
We drive it all the time. We haven't trailered it all yet this year.
What's your favorite part of the car?
Just the whole car in general. It's nice.
Congratulations to Ray Mersch at his 1969 Camaro on taking home the Gunk Tough and Trusted Award. It's a well-deserved honor. We still have more of the Menards Chevy Show on tap here today, including a 50s hauler carrying a beautiful Bel Air. We'll be right back.
Menards Chevy Show is being brought to you by Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radio since 1977. Clamp Tight, the clamp making tool. Borla, the world's most winning exhaust. And by Gen Y Hitch, towing made easy.
Welcome back to Gateway Motorsports Park in Madison, Illinois for another edition of the Menards Chevy Show. Gateway Motorsports Park is a classic example of a place where this kind of machine, Paul Gregg's amazing 1963 Stingray Chevy supercharged street legal machine. Earlier, we got a look at the operations side of Gateway Motorsports Park.
We have a brand new Gateway Carplex, opened about 3 years ago. It's always active, open almost 7 days a week. The road course, the oval track, we have the drag strip obviously going on. We have a lot of autocross events that take place here in our parking lot. Absolutely incredible turnout. Our racer count is up about 50 cars over last year. Car show has shown some growth this year, up about 20 cars with the car show. So we're really excited about everything that's going on there. We're starting to see people starting to come back. You know, the year and a half the place was closed, it kind of fell off a few people's minds. Now we're just keep chipping away, get back on everybody's schedule. We're building a lot of date equity. This is our third year having the date on this weekend. That's a really important part where people can kind of get that planted in their mind that they remember the second week of October is the big show at Gateway.
Now it's time for our last producer's pick, and it has a drag racing heritage. Yes, it's a beautiful 1957 Chevrolet, but nobody can argue that this entire package is one of the most magnificent we've ever seen at any of our events. How long did the car restoration take?
A year and a half or so.
Okay.
We did it in my garage.
When did the idea for this truck come along?
Oh, I was out in Pennsylvania and I saw a 64, 65 Chevy that was made into a hauler truck. Now, boy, that'd be cool. And I found a 56 Chevy 8500 series that was an old fire truck. It just had 7,000 miles on it, so I bought it.
I'll be darned.
No rust truck. Cut the fire bed off, put a 350 engine in it, overhauled it, and painted it. Well, it was original turquoise to start with, so we painted it turquoise to match the car, and it's in a museum now out in Pennsylvania.
You can tell that this thing's driven.
Yeah, oh yeah, I've had it in Bowling Green, Kentucky a couple of times. I was over to U.S. Nationals with it, with my race car on it over Labor Day weekend.
This guy's been drag racing now for a half a century, and this particular act is one of the most unusual he's ever created. But believe me when I tell you, it might be the greatest two-act play we've ever seen. Let's take a look at another one of our award winners. Our last trophy to give out here in St. Louis is the OPGI Original Award, and it goes to Tom Stadmiller for his outstanding 1970 Chevelle SS 396. The OPG Original Award is for cars that are basically bone stock. This thing apparently is, but where in the world did you get it?
I bought it from a guy in Imperial, Missouri. He had it for probably 2 or 3 years, and he had bought it from a guy up in Chicago. And I believe the man up in Chicago is the one who did the restoration on it.
Well, the SS 396 70 version is obviously one of the most sought after Chevelles of all time. There are very few in the country that can even remotely compare to this. I'm going to guess full off rotisserie restoration?
Yes, sir.
Motor matching numbers?
Well, they blew up the original motor in 1970, and I have the paperwork of the factory replacement engine.
Are there any special options in the inside of this car?
Power steering, power disc brakes, that's about it.
What color is that called?
They call it a misty turquoise.
Really?
Yeah, the way I understand it's a 1-year color, and it was only available in 1970.
Wow.
And I mean, all your GM cars could get it in 1970, but 1970 was the only year that they had this color.
The original paperwork that you have probably shows the original buyer. What state did it go to?
Went to Chicago, Illinois.
Oh, it did go to Chicago for the first owner.
Right.
Wow. So it stayed up there probably a fair amount of time.
Yes, sir.
What's your favorite part of this thing?
Well, it really rocks.
Congratulations to Tom Stadmiller and his 1970 Chevelle on winning the OPGI Original Award here today at Gateway Motorsports Park. Well, that's all the time we have from Gateway Motorsports Park here in Madison, Illinois. But next time, the Menards Chevy Show will be coming to you from Bakersfield, California. Until then, thanks for being with us.